This is Phantom Tactical Airsoft content, and today we've got a good one for you. It's the GHK AUG gas blowback rifle. Now GHK are marketing this one as the A2 model, but in terms of the real steel, this will be classified as the A1 version. I'm always very aware of my first impression when holding a rifle for the first time. I find that it's the initial response that will let me know if the quality is there, and I gotta say that the GHK AUG does not fail to deliver. I was and still am very impressed with the build quality of this bullpup rifle, and would say with confidence that it's one of the best quality replicas that I have in my collection. With a full metal upper receiver, scope and internals, and a high strength polymer lower and magazine shell, it replicates the real steel in true GHK fashion. It would be a great addition to any milsim loadout, and in a sea of M4s, it's bound to turn some heads. If you're the type of person that goes for realism, then this one could be for you. The high strength polymer is textured and grainy and has a subdued satin finish, which just adds to the overall feel of the rifle. It doesn't creak or rattle and feels absolutely solid. I can certainly see it lasting for years and years of aggressive play and operation. Put it this way, I'm a guy that likes a camo rifle, and I rarely ever go for the full black gun look. But after having this one for over a week now, I just can't bring myself to paint over the sleek black finish that GHK have provided. It really is good. I find myself picking up the GHK AUG just simply to shoulder it, even when I have no intention of shooting. It's as if it calls across the room to me, and I've caught myself more than once doing my best SWAT team walk across the living room with it when I should be getting on with other things. Come on, you know you've done it too. What I'm saying is that the ergonomics, feel and weight of the rifle are so satisfying. It's heavy without being unwieldy, light enough to be aggressive with, but also has a weight to it that screams realism. It's easy to assume that it would be front heavy with a full metal front end and a polymer rear, but it's really not. The balance of the rifle sits right behind the pistol grip, and it's near perfect as far as bullpups go. Takedown is easy, and again replicates the real steel to a T. 14 inch, 16 inch and 20 inch barrels are available for this model, so if you want to go for that compact commando look, then that's certainly an option. Moulding seams were present and visible on my model, but nothing that detracted from the overall quality of the build. The metal parts of the rifle are made of a high quality aluminium construction, and just like the polymer lower, the fit and finish is excellent. On a fully gassed magazine, there's not even the slightest hint of any escaping gas. The 1.5 times magnified scope also has a grainy texture and sports the famous Donut of Death circular diopter and is genuinely accurate. The sight picture is sharp and precise, and it's easy to imagine that you're looking through the scope of the real steel when shouldering this replica. I only wish that GHK would provide the scope adjustment tool with the rifle, as zeroing can be a bit tricky without it. The iron sights are located on top of the scope. They are basic but adequate. They are non-adjustable, but I was pleasantly surprised to see that they really are accurate at about 20 yards. Okay, so they won't win any awards, but they're there as a backup should your scope go down in the middle of a skirmish. The scope is removable, so different optics are an option. Personally, I'm very impressed with the overall performance of this rifle. The sound that the charging handle makes will never get old, and again just adds to the realistic feel. If I had to raise an eyebrow at anything, it would be that the trigger pull when operating full auto is a little stiff. It's as if the trigger wants to push back on your finger, so a positive purchase is needed to cycle the full auto function correctly. Straight out of the box, this AUG really does pack a punch, and is certainly one of the heaviest felt recoil responses that I've experienced. I've owned many gas blowback rifles from all different models and manufacturers, and this one certainly stands out from the crowd. It's loud and snappy, it doesn't chug or wear out like other gas systems, and is always ready to send that next round. The effects of cooldown really didn't emerge when operating this classic bullpup, and it's easy to see why so many people hype about the GHK gas system and efficiency. I found that the tolerances between the magwell and the magazine were excessively tight. It made any attempt at a tactical reload impossible, and took what I can only describe as brute strength to remove and insert the magazine. Now, this may just be a case of breaking the rifle in, but in my opinion, a top-end airsoft rifle should not need compromise in order to operate. For me, it was an obvious oversight, and I found myself reaching for the sandpaper in order to open up the magwell tolerances. It is simply a case of doing a little bit of sanding inside of the magazine well and on the magazine itself. Okay, so once you've done the modification, you will notice that the magazine will insert and be removed from the rifle in a much more efficient way. All in all, a great gas blowback rifle for anyone looking for a quality piece of kit. Mine has taken pride of place among my collection, and for good reason. That initial wow feeling that I got when first handling the GBBR has still yet to subside, and every time I pick it up that feeling is renewed. Certainly not a budget rifle, but one that is well worth every penny. It's hard to escape the feeling of quality when using the replica, and it feels like a serious training tool. The recoil is satisfying, snappy and dominant, and it tips the fun level of this AUG over the bar. Trust me, one mag is not enough when shooting it. The verdict is very simple. You will not be disappointed if you decide to go for the GHK AUG.